Okay, we're back! And got another train, of course. This guy right here, Fleischmann. Really cool looking one, I kind of think, at first glance. Lots of wheel action, as you can see. However, looks can be deceiving, so wait till you see this bad boy in action. So let me take it out and continue on. Alright, there you go. Like I said, I like the look of this thing and I hate the look of this thing. I do think it's kind of ugly. But I also like it because it's just so crude and beastly looking. So because I'm kind of split like that, I'm giving it a 6. Sort of down the middle, but on the good side because it is kind of cool looking. Even though it is kind of ugly. But it's a good kind of ugly. Moving right along into the materials. Not terrible. It seems to be pretty good. Standard for these Fleischmanns, I could say. Giving it a 6. There does seem to be a little flimsy part right here that could easily break off, but it's still there. I mean, I bought this used, so... Not terrible. So it's getting a 6 in that regard. Now when I was researching this, there's very little information that I could find on these 2363s, but it almost seems like this is from 1969. I can't imagine that to be true, just because it looks way better than something that would be built in the 60s, and the case alone seems extremely modern and sleek. There's no way that's from 1969. But prove me wrong, people. If you could tell me what year this is from, I'm all for it. It does say Germany, made in Germany on the bottom, not Western Germany, like a lot of the older ones do, especially from the 80s. So I don't know when they started doing that, if they always had Western Germany in there or not, even back then in the 60s. But if it's a modern engine, which I gotta guess this is from the 90s or so, at least, it's getting a 6 from the materials. If it is in fact from 1969, this is one of the coolest engines ever, based from a quality standpoint. But I just can't believe that. Uniqueness, there are a lot of them out there that are like this, especially from the German side of things. However, you don't see too many, what is this, 210 type of engine. I love how many different wheels there are in here. Love the look of that. Like how they cram as many as they possibly can on this thing. So that's kind of cool. I'm giving it a 7 from a uniqueness standpoint because you don't see too many with this many wheels. Usually they're, 6 drive wheels or even 8 drive wheels sometimes on the bigger ones. But I really like the look of this one, so from a beastly uniqueness standpoint, it's getting a 7. Alright, here we go. Got it all up on the track. Running it solo right now, for obvious reasons that will soon be disclosed. But, yeah, I mean, as it looks, not too bad. But let me start it up here and see what it's got. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the power it has. And you can hear something's up with that engine. Jerky, super loud, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that's all it has. Now, as you probably have heard, this thing is probably the loudest engine I've ever heard. Getting a 1, for obvious reasons. It's not good. It's really not good. And this is really part of the review where the bottom just falls out completely from this thing. It had such promise, but yeah, from a noise level, no. No. Power requirements, yeah, it needs a whole heck of a lot to even budge down there, so... Motor's probably going bad. Like I said, got this off of eBay. Don't know how old it actually is. Like I said, all the research I could see, what little there was, translated from German, says this is from 1969. Again, I don't believe it. Although, if you do look in the box here, and I take out the little thingy, the inside does look like it's from that era. If you look how crudely drawn the pictures are. And the real thick paper, as well as these other pictures you can see, it's 60s era pictures, so who knows? Maybe it's just a new case or something. I don't know. But it very well could be from that time frame. This also kind of morphs right into that motor strength segment. Now the motor on these Fleischmanns are always going to be in the tender here. That's where this one is. I did sort of take it apart a little bit to see if there's something gunked up or something, which there was not. It actually is the motor. I was able to run it on its own without connected to anything, and it's really loud, really noisy, and has no power. So again, motor strength here is getting a 1 because it can't even pull itself from what seemingly is a motor gone bad. Now I did get this off of eBay, like I said, used. All that was in the description was something that said, in good condition. And by in good condition, I assume that also meant it works. Because although it does kind of look pretty, there is a little, you can see right here, this ladder goes all the way down there, but if I turn it around, it's broken off on this side. No big deal, I can live with that for sure. But the motor, I don't know if the guy didn't test it out or is trying to pull my leg, but the motor doesn't work, and if it doesn't work at all, I can't say this is in good condition. So I'm going to try to return it. We'll see what happens there. But as is, it doesn't work. So, you know, I'm pretty disappointed there in that, you know, the motor and the power and all of that, lowest rating I can give, because if it could go negative, this thing would get it. Slow crawl as well. I mean, you saw it. That's all it does. But it is jerky. It's just it's not good. So 1 there as well. Derailment. I don't think this thing is popping off anytime soon. It's got a ton of wheels to keep it secure. It is a tad bit of a struggle to get it on because there's so many wheels there. But it's getting a 5 for me, right down the middle. Kind of standard. No big deal. No problems. Not super easy. Speaking of problems, however, this thing has a whole heap and lot of them. Mainly to do with that motor that doesn't seem to work too well in the back here. Again, very, very unfortunate, but as it doesn't even work as advertised, it's getting a 1 from a problem perspective as well. Value for the money. Now I paid $58 for this, which at the time I thought was a bargain, right? I mean, you're getting this really cool looking engine, $58 shipped, all said and done. Not terrible at all for something like this under $60. Won it off an auction at $51, I think, and then with shipping and all that, it bumped it up to $58. So again, thought I was getting something cool here, but since the motor's kind of busted, the value for me is going to be a 3. It still looks pretty, but since it doesn't work, I mean, come on. It doesn't work. So it's getting a 3. Now, had it worked, I would have given this a 7 from the value for the price I paid, because that is a pretty good price if it was fully functional, but unfortunately it's not. Okay, when you add it all up, it's got a grand old total of 32, which, congratulations, you're a new all-time low. That's a terrible score for obvious reasons. Like I said, I will try to return this because I'm still in that period where you could. And I'll be on the lookout to get another one similar to this because I do really like the model, the look of it. I just wish it actually worked. As always, stay tuned for more and let me know what you think below.